Hello, family. I pray all is well. Welcome to Talk Hell Ladies Let's Chat. I have some great news for you guys. As you all know, I know many of you have been going through your projects. Many of you have been telling me how the guides and all that good stuff, how that's been helping you. And we are so excited that you guys are passing those exams. I see many of you getting those SOEs. I've been looking at my screen, I've been looking at my inbox and some on Instagram and also on Facebook where I see y'all have messaged me. And I want to say congratulations, honey. Congratulations to each and every one of you as you are going along in your teaching journey. So today we are going to be talking about pedagogy. What is pedagogy, Lady Hale? Why do we even have to take this test? Why does it cost so much to be a teacher here in Texas? Oh my God, you see all the stuff that you really have to do. Yes, there is a lot there. There is some things that you do have to do. And the pedagogy test is one of the tests that you have to pass in order to become a fully certified teacher here in the state of Texas. Okay, so the pedagogy, okay, that's the professional responsibilities and stuff, right? So that's that right, so that's that right there. Okay, and I'm going to be sharing with you today what I learned, particularly about the pedagogy test and what were some resources, what were some things that I personally use to actually pass. Okay, so many of you know my story. Originally, when I enrolled in Texas Teachers, I enrolled in 2019, then I stopped. And then once the pandemic had hit, I did some subbing in the district for a little bit. And once the pandemic had hit, then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. Well, I'm not going to say that was my own personal decision, but my husband really encouraged me, said, you like teaching, why not go and do it? And so I was like, and once he encouraged me, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just do it. And I picked back up my program. COVID ended up hitting. When COVID ended up hitting, Governor Abbott issued a waiver that, as long as we took our exams, we didn't necessarily have to pass our content. So when I started teaching, I didn't have any of my content exam pass. I hadn't had my special education content pass. I didn't have my PPR pass or anything like that. Of course, I have a master's degree. I am a degreed individual. So from there, I end up teaching. And so during the teaching, I was supposed to get my projects done, content exam done, and all that stuff. So I end up getting my content done, but I didn't get to finish my projects. And so that's why I'm glad that they make you guys finish the projects now, because just take it from experience is that once you get in the classroom and you get into the flow of things, trying to do those projects and teach and lesson plans if you're in special education, or if you're a general ed teacher who have special education students, and then you have to make sure that your art paperwork and all that good stuff is prepared. Look who is in the building. Sir Hale Speaks is in the building. Sir Hale, we are so happy that you are over here today. And y'all, guess what? I'm gonna have to get a birthday thing so we can say happy birthday. But y'all, help me wish Sir Hale Speaks a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Sir Hale, from Ladies Talk Out, Ladies Let's Chat, and the education crew. We salute you, sir. We thank you for all your impact that you have over here, as well as the impact that you have in these YouTube streets. Ladies and gentlemen, this show has just taken a turn. Happy birthday, Sir Hale. Y'all help me wish Sir Hale a happy birthday there, a good, wholesome happy birthday, because at 1 o'clock, we're going to be over there and in the Sir Hale Speaks network over there. And it's going to be an amazing show tonight. So y'all come over there and be sure to join Sir Hale at 1 o'clock. We're going to see you over there. Okay, guys. So as I was saying, you really want to make sure that you get all your projects out the way. That's why I created a guide to kind of help you guide through that. Because if you can do that before you start school, the only thing you're really going to have to be concerned about is your walkthroughs, because there's going to be times where you're going to have an observer. They're gonna call you, and they're going to say, or they'll email you and say, hey, what is your lesson plan is going to be about, this, that, and the third. And then once you tell them your lesson plans, you tell them what you're going to do or whatever, and then they're going to observe you to make sure that you're demonstrating that. And just like on your projects, how they grade you on, developing, proficient, kind of like those they're called TExES standards. They grade you on those standards, and of course you want to get either proficient. Now, to get exemplary, that's like you're a teaching god. And if you get exemplary, that means like, girl or guy, you are awesome. Okay, because exemplary really goes to people who has a lot of experience in pros. But if you do get exemplary, good for you. All right, but you want to aim for proficient. As long as you aim for proficient, you're gonna be doing really, really well. Okay, so anywho, you're gonna have all that stuff to do. So now let's get to our content exam. So on the content exam, this is what I want you to remember. I want you to remember on the content exam, everything is research based. You hear a lot of people say real world experience, or you got to act like it's a perfect world. What does that mean? It's not a perfect world, right? Because you can look at some of the questions, and is it perfect world? Absolutely not. It is research based, right? So when you look at these questions and look at what they're asking you, you're going to make sure that the questions that they're asking you are research based. Okay, it's a research based question. All right. So based off research, when you read through the question, you have to think of this: based off research. That's one of the strategy. The other strategy would be to look at the answers first before you read the question. When I heard that, I said, that's crazy. Who reads the answer before you answer the question? And when I did that, when at first, when it didn't make sense to me, why would you do that? But you get to do what you call a process of elimination. So in the process of elimination, you can read the questions first, right? And you can begin to eliminate the questions that don't make sense. If it don't make sense, cross it out. If it's not research based, guess what? Cross it completely out. Okay. So some of the test prep that I used was Certified Teach. Okay. That's what I used first. And then I ended up missing it. I ended up missing the test by 7 points. And once I missed the test, I said, you know what? I'm going to take Dr. A's class. And Dr. A's class is actually free through TExES Teachers. And I'm going to share the screen just a second, show y'all how to get to that. And it's called the Learning Liaison. So TExES Teachers give you like a 30-day access or a year access, something like that, to the thing for absolutely free. If not, it's like $50 a month. But trust me, it is absolutely worth every dime. It is absolutely worth every penny. I have bought books, Quizlets, all that good stuff, right? But I promise you, the things that are in the Learning Liaison is going to be all you need. Literally all you need. Now, Dr. A likes to talk, and he talks. But when he's talking, he's guiding you through the questions. He's guiding you through the questions, and he's guiding you through the way that the test writer thinks, right? Because he's he was a professional test writer, all that good stuff. So anyway, he goes through and he shows you the strategy. And the strategy that he uses is called STOW. The S stands for similar. Then there's theme. Then the O stands for outlier. And then the W is when and what. what, so when you're using that when and what, that helps too, because I'm gonna pull up a sample question from the practice test that I took so you guys can see what I mean as well. Okay, so you go through that process. He's going to break down those theories because you need to know what the theories look like inside of the classroom and how do the theory apply with research. That's exactly, shout out to you, Empress Queen Goddess. She says, much love and respect at Lady Hale. God bless you. But you have to look at those questions because they are research based and based on whatever theory that you're going to use. There are three major theories that were on my test, and this was on both of them. It was Erickson's and Bloom's. Those were the two major theories that I seen on the test. Erickson's and not Bloom, but Maslow. Yeah, it was Erickson, Bloom's, and Maslow. Those were the three theories that I began to see on the test. So you want to go through those theories. And another one that you want to use when taking that test as well is the TELPAS. So the TELPAS is going to measure reading, English, comprehension, and understanding. Okay, that's all across the TELPAS, and it's talking about academically. It's not talking about how a ESL student understands socially, because everything about this test is all about the academic. So how academically they understand it. We're gonna pull up those. I'm gonna pull up the TELPAS chart so you'll get a clue what I mean. Okay, so that's important because the TELPAS is going to make up 20, it could be 20 to 25 questions. I counted approximately 18 questions on my last test, and then the test before that, it was exactly 21 questions that dealt with the ESL. Do you have to fully know ESL? No, but the main thing to know about the ESL is how does it apply academically. So you have 4 levels. You have the beginning level, you have the intermediate level, you have advanced, and then you have advanced high. When you're looking at the test, because it's going to give you a demonstration, and then it's going to ask you what level is that ESL student on. So in reading and writing, you need to know at the beginning level that the students, they do not know anything. They don't understand the context of the language. They don't even know, they don't have anything. And that is the period which they will call the silent period. But they're not going to ask them questions. They're not going to ask, what period is this? They're not going to ask that. But what they are going to ask, they're going to say, Judy is from China and she doesn't, she's been in the country for 6 months. We already know that's a language acquisition, right? Because you acquisition your language within the first 6 months. So if I was going to Mexico somewhere, right, it would take me at least 6 months to start to understand or concept the language. I'm not gonna know their sentence structures. I'm not gonna know how to academically use it in Mexico. I wouldn't know how to use that. So I'm gonna have a period where I'm kind of silent, where I'm kind of trying to understand. So as a beginning ESL person, I'm gonna need a lot of anchor charts. So I'm gonna need pictures. So if I said, this is a mouse, this is a mouse. We use this mouse to plug up to the computer, right? So I'm giving the ESL student an example, a tangible example, so they can begin to pick up the language and they understand, oh, she's talking about a mouse, right? Because if I don't know how to say mouse in Spanish, but if I did, I would say it in Spanish and you would get the idea behind what I'm saying. So if I was another language and I had and I had the mouse, and I called it, a Google, and I'm like, Google Gaga, Google Gaga, and that's all you like. Oh, they just saying Google Gaga. But if I pointed to this mouse saying the Google plugs into the Gaga, and I'm talking about the computer, you understand that I'm saying something about this, the mouse being plugged in to the computer. So that is how a non-English person will have to understand us, because right now we're sounding like Charlie Brown to them. Okay. So you have beginning language, then you have intermediate. They're gonna know a little. They're gonna have about maybe 1,000 words, maybe 1,500 words in their vocabulary that they have memorized, and they know what they mean. But they're still gonna need help academically putting the words together, making it easier to understand. Okay. They're still going to need some guidance. The sentence may be choppy. Instead of them using full sentences, they're not going to use full sentences. They're going to use one word sentences. Oh, we have, hey, Valeria. Miss Morales, she says, thank you so much for all of your help. I wouldn't have been able to get everything done as fast as I did if it wasn't for your videos. Thank you, Valerie. I am so glad those videos were there to help you and guide you. And I'm glad that you're doing amazing. So have you got your SOE yet? Let Lady Hale know if you didn't got your SOE yet. I told you guys, as I did it, and sometimes having that guide, because that's what it really meant, for really to have that guide to guide you so you know how your thinking should be when you're putting together your project, because even though it's like long and like, you still have to know this stuff in order to be very effective in your classrooms. And many of us, we come from different backgrounds. I come from a marketing and background, right? If you know me, marketing is my thing. And so of course I use a lot of data, and that works really well for me in special education, because a lot of decisions that we do make in special education and also in the general ed classroom, we have to use a lot of data, and we have to analyze that data. And then we have to apply it to our students to make our learning environment a much better learning environment based off the content exam. She says, not yet. I'm taking my content exam on Thursday. We are wishing you much success on your content exam. And just like, again, with the PPR, everything is research based. So if y'all type that in there. I want y'all to remember that everything, literally everything, is research based. But back to the TELPAS, when you're talking about English language learners, or ELPs, or wherever the people call it now, so because everybody call it different things. But when you're talking about English language learner, that the basic framework of the beginning, intermediate, advanced high, you need to know academically what the students can do, what they can do. So you're going to take an hour. I encourage you to take 1 hour and go to the TExES website, and you're going to be able to pull up the TELPAS chart. We can pull it up now. You're going to pull up that TELPAS chart, and memorize it. You need to memorize it anyway, but take an hour and memorize it, and remember what they can do and what they can't do. And I promise you remember what they can do and what they can't do. You're going to ace every one of those ELL questions. Kid you not. And the majority of those ELL questions is going to come in domain number 2. That's where you're going to see a lot of those ELL questions are going to come in domain number 2. But I guarantee you answer those ELL questions, you're going to knock it off the water, and remember what can they academically do. Okay. The other part of that test is going to be a lot of classroom it's going to be classroom management and diversity. So diversity, what makes the classroom diverse and collaborative? Okay, diverse and collaborative. And then another one that you need to remember is that it's constructive. Okay, so you'll see construct, I think it says constructivism, something like that. All right, I'm gonna log into my TExES. It's called NC, the one, and I'll show you guys. I'm gonna share a screen with you, and I'm gonna show you where you can actually go, and you're gonna be able to take your you're gonna be able to take a practice test. Okay, and again, too, I'm gonna drop the link in just a second for you guys if you wanna ask some questions, because I promised you that I was going to do that. So I'm gonna share the screen. I'm gonna show you guys where you go in order to say entire screen there. All right. Okay. So this is where you go over here to, it's like TExES. This is where we go to do our tests and stuff. So you're going to log into your account. And once you log into your account, you got this thing that's going to say prepare. I think it's there. Yeah, not prepare. It's you can do like a test exam, and I forgot where to find it at. But if you go here, home, I think it's prepare, and you go to the exam that you want to take. So we took this here, not special education. I don't even see it. Do it still? Okay, there you go. Pedagogy and Professional Responsibility, EC-12. This is what most of us are taking. And you're going, so what they allow you to do, they allow you to buy the exam for $10. Okay, so you pay them $10. So then once you do that, I'm not gonna obviously buy it because I've already done that. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna go into my account, view my practice test, and I'm gonna say access it now. Okay, so when you come over there and you go through it, it's going to indicate like what areas you were good at. So you want it to be in the green. Okay. So at first on my practice test, I got a 42% in the domain area of domain number 2, right? That was my weakest link, which is funny. And when I went to go pass the test, that was my strongest link. So when you take your practice exam is going to show you the domain competencies where you are weak at, okay? And primarily, you want to focus on domain number 1 and domain number 3, because domain number 1 and domain number 3 is what's going to comprise of the main part of your test. So when you're studying for this, you start with domain number 1 and domain number 3, because that's where the majority of the main questions are going to come from. Okay. So when you click on here, I'll show you, let's look at something that I missed. Okay. Number 36. Okay. So here's a question right here. It says, at the beginning of the school year, a middle school teacher present a lesson demonstrating safe practices in the science lab. Which of the following activities is the most effective informal assessment of the lesson? Okay, so let's break this question down. All right, it's asking us about assessments. So y'all know this right here, right? That there are, let me come out of here. There are a bunch of different types of assessment. You have a formal assessment, you have summative assessment, you have like 4 different types of assessments. So know all your different assessments, right? On the question there, it's particularly asking us about an informal assessment. So when you look at the test and you're saying what type of assessment I am doing, then you need to know what type of assessment that you're doing, right? And so it tells us that we were doing an informal assessment of the lesson, right? And then it asked us, okay, and so it asks us a question. It says, asking students to record laboratory safety notes in their journals. That's not going to be really informal. They're just taking random notes. This one says allowing students to explore safety equipment at various laboratory stations, having students match safety rules to the explanation of the rule. And we're gonna go through and I'm gonna show you why number C was incorrect. Okay, and then observing students use laboratory tools as they complete a simple experiment. Right. So observing number one, that wouldn't even be correct because that's not even a way to assess. So anytime you are assessing knowledge, you have to use some type of data point to actually understand. Okay, so B is the correct answer because allowing students to explore safety equipment is an effective way to actively engage them. Okay, see that engagement piece, while informally assessing their mastery of safe practice. Then and then it's going to tell us why option A is wrong. And it says option A is incorrect because the students learn better if they have a chance to participate in guided practice, right? Number C is wrong because student cannot perform a matching activity until they have mastery of the concept. So if this is a cool answer, but the reason why it's wrong because guess what? We don't know if they have mastered it yet. So that wouldn't be a proper form. See, one could be almost right, as y'all see here, and then the other one is absolutely right because if she's teaching them, then showing them, you know what I mean? So these are the type of questions. My bad. Those are the type of questions that you are going to see on the PR. Some of it makes sense. It looks like it should, it should be there, but it might not be the right, it might not be the right thing that needs to be answered. So what you want to do is make sure that you answering the right things. And if you get something wrong, know why you got it wrong. So then the next time, if I was to see that question, guess what? I'm going to know that if they're being informally assessed, and they're making these rotations, so obviously they're participating in active participation, then this is telling me they haven't mastered it yet. So I know giving them a worksheet telling them to match does not show mastery. So if I want to assess that they actually know it, they have to know something before they master it. So why would I give them something to master if they have not even shown me that they know it? Makes sense. So it's little stuff like that, and it could get you tripped up. Now I'm gonna sit up here and I'm gonna share the thing. So if you want to come up here and ask questions, please feel free to. All right, you don't have to have your camera on, but if you're not gonna have your camera on, just make sure that you show me your face so I know that you're a real person. Okay, because we don't want anyone coming on the screen or something. Obviously, that's inappropriate. But I'm gonna open up the line for you guys, and if you want to come up, and you can. Okay, so I'll keep it open for a little bit there. And if you are catching the replay and you have any questions, please let me know, and to my best of my ability, I will make sure that I help you accordingly. Okay. But I was excited, guys, because my first test, I ain't passed it. But my second test, I actually passed my PPR. So that was the last thing that I needed to actually give my standard certificate and everything. So I'm excited. And this year we're going to be doing what they call co-teaching. Okay. So co-teaching is really, really fun. And I'm going to do a whole video about co-teaching. I'm going to do a whole, like I said, the stuff that I was telling you guys today about the TELPAS, theory, all that stuff. I'm going to break them up and I'm going to do individual videos about that. But you're going to need to know those things in order to be effective and pass your PPR, right? And just get that whole, it's a fake world. No, it's not. Chad, it's based on research. When I tell you not, the whole test is based off of research. Okay. And so pedagogy, that's just a really fancy word in saying, your stuff, right? The basics of your field, right? Because when you go into that classroom, you are the educator. You know the pedagogy, right? So add it to your add it to your vocabulary, right? Because sometimes when we get older, we don't add words to our vocabulary. And so I know I'm making it an effort to make sure that I add new words to my vocabulary because I know my pedagogy. The state of Texas says I know my pedagogy because I do. And yes, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it very often, right? Let's just take your conversation up to the next level. Okay. So again, everything is research based. Remember that. Number one. Number two, know your TELPAS chart. Go remember it. Remember it. Take an hour, study the TELPAS chart. If you have access to the learning liaison, if you're going through TExES Teacher, it's absolutely free for us. And let me add this to the screen real quick. And let's go on TExESteachers.com and I'll show you where to go and look at, where to go and find it. So when you log into your intern portal and you go to training progress right here, you're going to see where it says content test prep, and it somewhere over here it should say like it should say premium content or something. It'll say it's let me see. Let me find out where it was. Because it was okay, pedagogy, learning liaison. It's on here somewhere, y'all. So it says, hey, you can go on there, you can use this code, but it also inside of here, you could it had it where at first you can log in. Oh, here you go. Y'all see this where it says the learning liaison of TExES Teachers Tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Just say learn more. And then right here where it says start now, you click start now. And it's going to take, it's like going to take you inside of the learning liaison. And then if you go to my courses in there, because it's through your thing, you're going to see this where it says TExES 166. And you got the whole boot camp. The boot camp, y'all, when I tell you, is absolutely amazing. Don't go through the first, the first two things and be like, oh, I'm good. Because if you don't go through part 3 and part 4, you're going to miss the other part. And while he's going, and I know some of those videos are like 2 hours long. Okay. They are 2 hours. I get it. They're 2 hours long, but go through them. Take a week. Go through those videos. Sit at that computer. You take down them notes. Practice those practice tests, and I guarantee you, if you follow follow stuff, you are going to pass your test. Don't be like me, because I halfway watched it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I halfway watched it the first time, and I missed it by 7 points. But however, when I went in that second time, and I finished that thing up, guess what? I beat that thing. Okay, I passed it, because at the end of the day, that's all gonna matter, that you passed it. Don't matter. I don't care if you got 300. I don't care if you got exactly 340, 342, 343. It don't even matter. But what's going to matter is that you pass your test. And again, knowing your TELPASs, knowing the TELPAS, knowing Maslow, Erickson, and your Blooms. Okay. Are you going to need Vygotsky? Maybe. I don't know. They might throw some of those questions in there, but I didn't see that. I told you the 3 theories that I seen on my test was Bloom's, was Bloom's, Maslow, and Erickson. Those were the 3 that I personally seen on the test, and I personally seen them on the test 2 times because I took it twice. Hello, Miss Inye. Thank you for stopping through. Thank you for stopping through today. We were going over the pedagogy exam, what to expect, the things that you can use to actually pass the exam. All right. So if nobody want to come up, that is absolutely fine. No, I do go live on Saturday. I go live on Saturdays, from 11, typically 11:30 to 12, or we might have to shift the time a little bit. But from 11:30 to 12, I go live every Thursday, answering your pedagogy questions, maybe going over some content things that can work in the classroom, etc. I am so excited that many, like I said, of the many reviews that I've been getting in the comment section, the inboxes, and that I've been getting on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else, telling me how everything is helping you guys as well, because we are to be helpers one to another, right? And what's the word we learned today? Pedagogy. Right? So use that. I know the pedagogy of teaching. Use that in your vocabulary, because remember, you are the expert, and you are going to be the one who is impacting the lives of the next generation. Everybody, teaching is not easy, but it's definitely rewarding, and I'm so happy to see you across the finish line. All right. I guess next time too, we'll start going over some actual pedagogy stuff, and we'll put that out there. So until next time, thank y'all so much. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if there's some things that you want to see, or you have questions about when it comes to being certified, or when it comes to going into the classroom, this is going to be my second year actually inside the classroom as a certified teacher, and my third year in the teacher, because I started as a 3 years ago. I started as a paraprofessional, and then the next year I was in the classroom as the teacher of record, and this year I am also in the classroom as the teacher of record as well. So I know it from both perspectives. And you're saying, well, how can I just get my foot in the door, etc.? We'll have a whole show about that, dedicated to getting your foot in the door in the education system, because at this point of time in 2022, so if you're watching this beyond 2022, the situation might be different, but right now America is in a shortage and need teachers. There are many districts across the country who are just allowing people even with associate's degrees to come into the classroom and become the teacher of record, and they're paying, the districts are paying for you to get your bachelor's, and they're paying for you to get your certification. So if you want to seize the opportunity. I've seen a district somewhere in Houston, I think it was Crandall or something down there in Houston, where you only had to have a high school diploma, and you did get paid a little bit less, because I think they were paying the people with the high school diploma, I think they was paying them like $35,000, but they pay for your college and you get certified and all that good stuff like that. And you still had they call it a teacher internship. Even though you still had the responsibilities of a teacher, they're paying for your tuition, your insurance, and all that stuff. And they're saying, hey, we need teachers to come into this classroom. So the ball is in your court. And maybe you're looking for a career change. The ball is in your court. Consider education. Consider touching the lives of others. And let's go to the chat real quick before I say official goodbye. We have, hi, Inya. Hey, hon. Nice to see you. She says, I love how you share information and look so sassy while you do it. You know what? I'll be trying. He said, hey, sir, today is Sir Hale Speaks birthday. I have to figure out that banner thing, how to put his cash out. So y'all go show Sir Hale Speak. Y'all go send him $5 to $10 so he can get him some coffee and stuff, because he be up all the time. I'm gonna put his there you go. Okay, so yeah, if you're gonna send cash out, send it to Sir Hale Speaks. Just let him know happy birthday, how we love him so much. And y'all, I'm finna get off because we gotta go over there to Sir Hale Speak at 1 o'clock. All right. So until next time, guys, remember, you can be the change that you want to see and be the change in somebody else's life. Until next time, I love you all. Bye.